What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in, everybody. Sleaze Bomb here. Another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. This is going to be my tight end stardom sit-ins for Week 4. Every single matchup, statistical breakdowns, receptions, yards allowed, ranks, touchdowns, matchup over-unders, why I like these plays, why I don't like these plays, couple injuries of why these players will be better this week, and why some of them I like as deeper plays. Matchup base is going to get kind of interesting here because the tight end position is always a nightmare, man. So before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. I can't thank you guys enough. I got the video out. My quarterback, running back, wide receivers are done. I'm going to try and get my quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, kicker rankings all tomorrow. And remember, guys, I'm only live this Thursday. I head out of town for the Mama Slee's 60th birthday in Vegas, so I won't be here this weekend. I'll try and tune in on Big Draft Energy Show when maybe Sunday morning or something when he's up there. If you guys have not signed up yet or checked it out, make sure you check out the Guys FF Discord. This is where we talk fantasy football 24/7 off stream, cover everything Dynasty, redraft, everything you need. It'll be pinned in the description and linked in the comment as well, guys. And we also drop our Pick'em and DFS plays in there as well that are done on drafters.com. 4 for 4 to start the year off. Absolutely amazing start. Make sure you sign up on drafters.com using promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And let's dive into my start, sit-em, tight ends, every matchup for Week 4, guys. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end, start-em, sit-em board. Green must start, yellow in between high-low flex. I'll let you know. Red will be a sit-em for me. The away team is always at the top, heading down versus to the home team. And let's dive into it here with Trey McBride and the Arizona Cardinals that are hosting the Seattle Seahawks. 2-1 for both teams, 43.5 over-under. Seattle favored by 1.5. And when it comes to Seattle, we can't really tell the splits between the tight end, between A.J. Barner and Elijah Arroyo yet. It's like one of them need to get injured or one of them completely need to win the job for us to even kind of look at this situation. But if you want to, look at the matchup stats, I'm not starting either one of them, but I'll throw out the Arizona Cardinals for you. The Cardinals ranked 21st, giving up 13 points a game to the tight end position, 27 receptions, 180 yards. Again, it's going to be a split share. If you're starting either one of them, it's probably a very deep league and you're banking on touchdown upside or like a DFS play with touchdown upside. On to Trey McBride, finds the end zone last week, gets a beautiful matchup. This is the Seattle Seahawks' weakness is the tight end position, ranking 32nd. 24 receptions, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns to the tight end. That is 1 touchdown a game. Trey McBride scored last week. This is my tight end one on the season. He is going to be a start every single week, regardless of the matchup. The 2-1 Minnesota Vikings and Carson Wentz are headed into the Steel City to take on the Steelers, who are 2-1, led by Aaron Rodgers. The old man veteran duo is here. 40.5 over under, very low implied point total there. 2.5 Minnesota is favored by in this game. Now, when it comes to TJ Hockenson here, you saw a little awakening with Carson Wentz last week. You saw him get 5 targets. It would have been a better game script for him if they didn't blow him out by 30 points and have 2 pick-6 touchdowns in the game. So I do think that TJ Hockenson is going to be a lot more involved here, and this matchup is absolutely beautiful. Look what Hunter Henry just did to the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. He destroyed them for 33 fantasy points. I love TJ Hockenson as a smash in this matchup. They rank 31st versus the tight end, giving up 19 points a game. Obviously, Hunter Henry smashed a big one on him. 17 receptions, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's a touchdown a game. You have to absolutely love TJ Hockenson this week. Now, when it heads to the Steelers here, the Minnesota Vikings, middle of the pack versus the tight end, ranking 17th, giving up 11 points a game, 16 receptions, 138 yards, and a touchdown. But you have Arthur Smith, and you've seen the snap share go up and down. Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth. Jonnu Smith had more last week. You can't trust this situation. I mean, if you could trade any of these guys, I would. I don't know if they have any really trade value. I don't trust to start them in any single week. Probably moving on for the rest of the season unless one of them gets injured. The 2-1 Washington Commanders that we hope are going to be led out there by JD5 are heading into the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. Over under 45.5. Washington is favored by 1.5. Now, you saw last week against the Raiders. Obviously, the Commanders blew him out. Didn't really need him. But it's a different story with Marcus Mariota when Zach Ertz is out there, right? So if it's Marcus Mariota, I would move Zach Ertz down to a low end flex, medium, tight end start play. Still saw a little bit of volume, but you're going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And the crazy thing, the Atlanta Falcons are number one versus the tight end. They've only given up 6 receptions for 48 yards. But again, you might have Terry McLaurin down. You know that JD5 has a touchdown in each game with him that he started this year. Deebo Samuel will be the screen guy. Zach Ertz will live across the middle. This could be a smash Zach Ertz game. If JD5 is out there, we have to watch, and see if he's out there. I throw the matchup out the window when your quarterback is as elite and superstar talent as JD5 is. Otherwise, I would, if it was like a statue quarterback, I wouldn't say start Zach Ertz. But his playmaking ability can get Zach Ertz a touchdown any single game at any single time. Now, Falcons side, this is my on the fence one. Kyle Pitts, his usage has been up this year. Snaps have been up. Targets have been up. Receptions have been up. Last week, you saw the aberration, ugly, terrible game against the freaking Carolina Panthers, who are horrible versus the tight end. And they were in garbage time and playing from behind. Michael Penix looked like a shell of himself. I hope that they bounce back here at home in this game because you have another good matchup versus the Commanders. They give up 14.4 points a game. That ranks 23rd. They've given up 14 receptions, 213 yards to the tight end position. That's 70 yards a game and a touchdown. This could be a Kyle Pitts game here. It just depends on what Michael Penix shows up or if Kirk Cousins comes in. I mean, once one game happens like that, the wheels, your head starts spinning. You wonder what's going to happen here. This is a big tell-it-all game for the Falcons here. This is like their season right here. They go 1-3. I think they're cooked. They need to win this game at home here. And, man, they need to start utilizing Kyle Pitts here, man. This is a perfect game that I want to talk about a little longer on this one. We are going to have the 0-3 Saints heading into the Buffalo Bills, and this is the fantasy football mind, or like I'm going to say my mind, or however you want to take it, that you need to start using and pay attention to in fantasy football here. So the over-under is 47.5 here. The Saints are freaking trailing by 16.5 in the books. One of the worst spreads in NFL history. And you got Juwan Johnson versus Dalton Kincaid. And you're probably going to have Dalton Kincaid in your lineup because last week he scored 20 points and he fell a yard short of scoring 27, 30-point game there, right? This is the mistakes that are made. Now, I know Dalton Kincaid could score early in this game, and we could be talking about it. I could be wrong here. That's 100%. But what you have to look at is Dalton Kincaid has only played 50% of the snaps when he's out there. He's not even a full-time tight end. So those touchdowns are coming on drawn-up plays from. Will his usage go up? Probably in the season. But the Bills are favored in every single game that they play from here. How much passing are they really going to have to do? You're playing the Saints. The Saints were down 30-0 at halftime to the goddamn Seahawks. This game could be over before half. And if Dalton Kincaid doesn't score, you're probably not even going to see him out there that much in this game because the Saints are going to get absolutely rocked in Buffalo, and we all know this, right? So when you look at this game here, and I'm going to do the Saints first, the Saints give up 12.5. They rank 19th in the tight end, 16 receptions, 155 yards, about 50 yards a game, 1 touchdown on the season. I firmly believe that you should sit Dalton Kincaid in this game. I don't think he's going to be utilized at all, if any, just based on game script. I think James Cook is going for 25+, and I'd rather start Juwan Johnson than Dalton Kincaid because volume is king in fantasy football. And Juwan Johnson is used at a 98% rate, averaging 8+ targets a game. I don't care about the matchup because garbage time is where it's going to happen. So when you're looking at Buffalo versus the tight end, right, they're number 2 versus the tight end. They're very good. 4.7 points a game, 5 receptions, 32 yards, and a touchdown. They've been lights out versus the tight end. But they're going to have volume galore here where Kellen Moore lines him up 50% in the slot anyways with Juwan Johnson. He's seen more targets than any tight end. He's the highest used tight end. He's the highest route participation used tight end that is out there. You have to start this guy every single week as of right now because they play every game from behind. And you know he's going to see garbage time work. And I'd rather take the chance on volume than a low percentage touchdown from Dalton Kincaid. The big win, 1-2 Browns, who knocked out the Packers last week and ruined survivor pools across the world, are headed into Ford Field to take on the Detroit Lions. Now, in this game, and you saw last week, Tucker Kraft locked up by the Cleveland Browns, right? So we're going to talk about Sam Laporta here first. And Laporta just had a rough game against the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football that was a shootout game. So I don't know if it's the new system, but Laporta is always going to be like a draft pick that you made that is touchdown dependent because they spread the ball around a ton, and Amon-Ra is just the guy. So when I'm looking at the Cleveland Browns defense versus the tight end, they rank 14th, giving up 10.5, 11 receptions, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. Could Laporta get a touchdown? For sure. They've given up, you'd say 0.7 a game right now, so there's about 70% chance they get one. So do I think the Browns are going to hang in this game at Ford Field like they did at home against the Green Bay Packers? I don't think so. I mean, the Detroit Lions proved me wrong last night. Their offense looked great. I mean, Amon-Ra moving. I don't think Monty and Gibbs are going to be that effective on the ground versus the Cleveland Browns because the Browns stopped the run. That is what they do. They've shut down 3 solid running backs back-to-back, averaging 2 yards per carry. But still, Sam Laporta is just risky to me. I just don't feel safe. I mean, it's still a start if you drafted him just because of tight end position, but it's not a smash start for me, that's for sure. Now, the Browns side, this has got to be an Njoku wake-up game here. It's like, what is going on here? I know that Fannin is out wide and Fannin is in line and Fannin is lining up the Z, and they're giving him some carries here and there, and he could be the future for sure with David Njoku on a contract year, and maybe Njoku's traded, and then Fannin's freaking a legit tight end one the rest of the way. But you're going up against the Detroit Lions here. The Lions just got absolutely shredded by Mark Andrews, let alone one, given that one was a garbage time kind of NTD, which probably, pissed people off in a lot of matchups, to be honest. I mean, one of my buddies won it by 0.2 on that last play to Mark Andrews, 157.4 to like 157.2. Absolutely bonkers. He had Lamar and Andrews, and they both connected. But shout out to Modifier on that one. So when you're going up against the Lions, dude, they rank 28th versus the tight end. They give up 16.23, 14 catches, 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown a game. And this is what I alluded to all year. The Browns could be playing from behind. Pass volume. I want to see Njoku hit a game here. It's not been the David Njoku season I've thought so far. Fannin still, low end tight end, I'd say mid tight end 2 play. Njoku low tight end 1. They both can be out there because the volume can be there. It's just, you got to see it click here in this game. This is a perfect matchup, and I'm starting to get worried about Njoku, man. The tight end 1 in fantasy football, Hunter Henry and the New England Patriots at Foxborough are hosting the Carolina Panthers, and Jatavion Sanders is going to be out for this game, and I'm not going to say to start Tommy Tremble in a redraft, so if you want to do that, you can. I'll put him up there on the graphic if he has a good game, but I'm not going to talk about that. And New England Patriots are number 9 versus tight end. They give up 10 points a game, 13 receptions, 170 yards. Not looking like I want to start Tommy Tremble, and Jatavion Sanders is obviously out for this game. So not a lot to talk about on the Panthers side. Hunter Henry, man, the security blanket for Drake May is real. 2 touchdowns last week, absolutely destroyed, 33 points in fantasies, number 1 tight end on the season. You get the Carolina Panthers. They rank 25th versus the tight end, 15.4 points per game, 18 receptions, 222 yards, 1 touchdown. That's 70 yards a game and a 30% chance of a touchdown. How can you not like to start Hunter Henry in this game? He's become the focal point blanket of this offense. I mean, no wide receivers had as many targets as him. He's the guy. This is a guy you start every single week until we see Stephon Diggs ramped up or maybe Kyle Williams jumps into the mix here. But this is the focal point of their offense, and I cannot say sit Hunter Henry until something changes. The 3-0 Chargers are bolted up heading into the New York Giants this week. And interestingly enough, we got to see my sleeper MJ fadeaway call of the year, Oronde Gadsden out of Syracuse, get some playing time in this game. And guys, he had 7 targets. So did Ladd McConkey. That's his first NFL debut. Think about that for a minute. His father was also an NFL player, so like father, like son, he's got a lot of talent coming in. So over-under is 44.5 in this game. Chargers favored by 6.5. I think they mop him up on Jackson Dart's first start. I think this is them throwing Jackson Dart to the wolves. I would have rather they waited until Dart week 5 against the Saints. But man, I mean, what a test, given one of the top defenses right away. So you get the New York Giants. The New York Giants versus the tight end. Currently, they rank 22nd, giving up 13.6 points a game. They've given up 20 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Now, I don't like Oronde as a start. He's a low-end flex for me if you need, right? Because the tight end position is rough, and he saw tons of volume last week. But you also got to think, are the Giants really going to stay in this game? You also have Quentin Johnston, their wide receiver 1, Keenan Allen, the wide receiver 2, and Ladd McConkey, the wide receiver 3. There's so many mouths to feed. This is a deep dart throw if you need it at all. And I think Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin's time just came to an end real quick. On the Giants side, Theo Johnson. No way I'm starting Theo Johnson against the Chargers defense. Number 8 versus tight end, 9 points a game, 15 receptions, 121 yards. That's 40 yards averaging per game and no touchdown. This defense is lights out, and who knows if they get Khalil Mack back. Hopefully Jackson Dart can open up this offense and maybe get Theo involved a little bit here because Russ has looked terrible, but I can't say to start this guy. The 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles headed in to face the 3-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a game I am going to be glued to here. And Dallas Goedert, I'm not starting in this game. And I know he came out week 1 kind of hot, not a great week last week. And you get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is their absolute strength besides the run, is their front 7 versus the tight end. They rank number 6. They give up 8 points a game. They've given up 14 receptions for 106 yards. So you got to think of that. They're averaging about 36 yards a game to the tight end position. Not good. No touchdowns given up. I do not like Dallas Goedert at all in this game, even though I believe the over-under is 43.5, and I believe it's going to be like a 50-point. I'd love to smash over on this game. I think that's way too low, and the Eagles are favored by 3.5. Now, Cade Otton, the ghost of all ghosts, can he find his way back to the field here? So you got Mike Evans down, okay? Chris Godwin, we don't know if he's going to be out there. Emeka Egbuka, superstar rookie already. Can they get Cade Otton involved? I mean, if there's ever a time, this has got to be it. Even though the Eagles are good versus the tight end, they're number 4. They've given up 6 points a game, 11 receptions, 88 yards. So literally about, 28 yards a game they give up. Not great. But you got to have this guy be involved here. Right? This is a low-end tight end play if you need. I don't like it as a start. It's not green. It's in yellow. It's just a dart throw because the injuries the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. What is it? Sterling Shepard going to step up again? Come on, it's got to be Cade Otton here one of these times. And you saw last year when all the injuries happened, when Evans and Godwin were down, dude, Cade Otton was wide tight end 1 for like 3 weeks straight. So, I mean, he can do it. They just got to get him involved in the game plan, man. The battle of the 0-3s. The Tennessee Titans headed into the Houston Texans. And God, man, the over-under is 35.5. Really low, really stinker of a game. I think it's going to be a gross game as well. But when you got to look at this game, we got to talk about them all. Chigakonkwo, last week I told you, nice little flex, low end, tight end 2-play, mid tight end 2-play. If you did, he did all right. He's going to probably see 5-6 catches a game, around 50, 40 yards a game, serviceable tight end play because Calvin Ridley is non-existent. Alec Iamano's got a couple plays here and there, and Cam Ward is a rookie and needs his security blanket. So it's not even really matchup based for me. I think Chigakonkwo is going to be a startable, not sexy with high touchdown upside, not high touchdown, let's say medium touchdown upside a game. And you get the Houston Texans this week. The Houston Texans, they're good versus the tight end. They're number 10. They give up 10 points a game, 15 receptions, 112 yards and a touchdown. So about 33% chance for a touchdown for him. You would think if Stingley's out there that he'll, that's their star corner, he'd be on Calvin Ridley. Maybe Chigakonkwo gets loose. I don't love the play. I don't hate the play. Just a safe, 7, 8, 10-point play tight end every single week. That's probably going to emerge as their second guy in targets on the season just because the offense is terrible. But they have relinquished the play calls from Callahan to the quarterback coach. So that's a good sign because their offense has been terrible. And when it comes to the Texans, I don't even care who the Texans are playing. I don't care about the matchup. We'll talk about the Titans, though. I'll give you their stats just because Dalton Schultz I'm just done with. But they rank 11th. They give up 10.7, 13 receptions, 115 yards, and a touchdown. But what you saw and what I talked about in my wide receiver video, what I talked about weeks before, was as soon as Christian Kirk comes back, he's going to live across the middle and be C.J. Stroud's go-to guy. And you saw 8 targets from him coming off injury. So I don't think Dalton Schultz is anywhere near relevant anytime soon as a starting tight end. 3-0 Indianapolis Colts and Indiana Jones are headed in to face the L.A. Rams, who are pissed off after blowing that win big time to the Eagles. Now, Tyler Warren kind of on a snap count last week, didn't have his big game. They're going to need Tyler Warren in this game. And the Rams defense, no matter how you slice it, right? They were good versus the running back. They were good versus the wide receiver. They were dominant versus the tight end all till last week when the wheels fell off and they blew a 20-point lead to the Eagles, right? So if there is a weak spot, it is versus the tight end. So Tyler Warren should absolutely feast in this game, and you're never sitting Tyler Warren, let's be real. But the Rams rank 16th, giving up 10 points a game only to the tight end position, 14 receptions, 127 yards and a touchdown. So about 42 yards a game, 33% chance of a touchdown. But Tyler Warren back at full snaps off his little minor injury is always a start, not even a question. The Rams, You don't start anybody on the Rams, period, as long as Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua are out there in the receiving game. They are taking 70%. No, sorry, 80%. No, 70% of the total target share. 39% Puka Nacua, 31% Devontae Adams. They don't pass to anyone else. But I will give you the Colts stats. They rank 18th versus the tight end, right around where the Rams are. 11.8 points per game, 14 receptions, 135 yards, and a touchdown. But Tyler Higbee and Ferguson both split snaps. Jordan Whittington seen more than them. You know, unless a Devontae Adams or Puka Nacua, God forbid, injury happens, you're probably not going to see Higbee or Ferguson be relevant. But, man, I wanted to see Ferguson be out there. I loved him coming out of Oregon. 2-1, ugly winning Jacksonville Jaguars are headed in to face my bang-bang 3-0 Niner gang. And this one's interesting here. So, Brenton Strange, solid uptick of usage because Diami Brown went down last week. And who knows what Shane Waldron's doing with this offense and all in general. But somehow they're 2-1 and 2 ugly wins. And they're going, 47.5 over under 49ers favored by 2.5. But do you really play tight ends versus Fred Warner and the 49ers defense? No, you do not. Now, I know that you can look back at last week and see that the 49ers had a bad week versus the tight end. Again, Trey McBride, guys, okay? The number one tight end in football, in my opinion. He got a touchdown at the end of the game. And it wasn't Fred Warner on him either way. And when it comes to the 49ers, I don't even need to talk about the Jaguars defense. I'm not throwing Tunges or Farrell out there ever at tight end in my life. It is only until George Kittle comes back, period. So I'm not starting Brenton Strange versus Fred Warner. I don't really ever start tight ends versus Fred Warner because he's one of the best linebackers, probably top 3 of all time. Even though Strange usage went up, this is a terrible matchup. And 49ers side, it's Kittle or bust, man. The 1-2 Baltimore Ravens are headed into Arrowhead to face the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs over under 48.5. Baltimore minus 2.5. One of these teams is going to be 1-3, which is absolutely bonkers to me. And this is where I like to get a little crazy. And this is one of my bold calls of the week here, guys. And I'm going to get a lot of comments about it, but I'm going to break down why. So, for the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews had his splash game against the Detroit Lions with a garbage time TD also at the end, but he did score early. But what I alluded to in that game was they took away Zay Flowers, which opened it up for Mark Andrews. And the possibility of likely coming back in week 3 was almost there. He was almost about to play. So he's also going to cut in 12 personnel to Mark Andrews. But you know that Steve Spagnuolo has seen Mark Andrews enough. And when they play, it is always a different game. These teams take away the superstar tight ends. Every time they play, go back and look at it. This is what happens. I have Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce on a sit. And when you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Chiefs and you see the matchup, what are the Chiefs versus the tight end? Number 3. They allow 6 points a game. They've allowed 8 receptions. That's it. 102 yards. That's it. Not good situation for either one of these Ravens this week. And when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you just saw what the Ravens did to Sam Laporta. He was an absolute ghost last week, but they got smashed on in week 1, so they look really bad versus the tight end. 15.93. They ranked 26th, 20 receptions, 218 yards, and a touchdown. But I'm telling you right now, and this is a bold call, I posted on Twitter, everything about it, you're going to have Zach Orr, who knows Travis Kelce. The Ravens know Travis Kelce. They've seen enough. And the Chiefs have seen enough of Mark Andrews. The 2 superstar old vets here, I'm sitting both of them. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. I don't think they're going to have good games this week. The 1-2 battle of the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson are headed in to face the Las Vegas Raiders. And this one's going to be interesting. So you always know Brock Bowers is going to be a start no matter what, right? That's just a given. Oh, whoop. Hang on. We're going to do, this is how you know we don't edit through. We go in live. This is a mistake. But we're going to talk through it what happens here. So Michael Mayer is going to be out. We know that. Colston Loveland, we don't know if he's going to be playing. So I'll talk about them both while I'm, mixing with the designs here. And Brock Bowers is getting healthy. He's going to be back to Brock Bowers' form. He's going to be starting for me no matter what. You paid the capital. You're starting him. Let me move Michael Mayer down here. Now, this is interesting I'll give you the Bears stats first versus tight end. And this defense is beat up across the board, man. They give up 15.37, 24 receptions, 161 yards, and a touchdown, and they rank 24th. So the opportunity is going to be here in bunches. And you know the Chicago Bears offense can score at will when they get rolling. This could be another Geno Smith garbage time game where, Trey Tucker had 40 points. I expect it to be more of a Brock Bowers game this week. Now, Colston Loveland, we're going to leave down there because we don't know the injury status. Cole Kmet, if Colston Loveland misses this game, I'm not going to say start all the way, right? Because they have a ton of weapons, and Luther Burden's emerging as well, too. But when you look at the Raiders versus the tight end, on the season, they're very good. They rank 5th. They're giving up 7 points a game, 9 receptions, 121 yards, no touchdown. But Ben Johnson loves to scheme up plays for Cole Kmet. And even when Colston Loveland was out there, he's been averaging, 90% snaps a game. So this is what you want. And if he's not out there, then you don't have no more 12 personnel sets. You'll see more Luther Burden. You'll get more Cole Kmet involved. And he might be a deep dart throw either way. I don't love the play with the matchup, but he could find the end zone and get a touchdown in this game. So if you need a dart throw tight end play, I'm okay with Cole Kmet this week. All systems green game. Green Bay Packers are headed into Jerry's World for Micah Parsons' revenge game, and we can all not wait for Sunday Night Football. Bring this game here. Now, the over-under is 47.5. Green Bay is favored by 6.5 in this game, and I am 100% starting both of these tight ends regardless. I know Tucker Kraft was coming off injury, and it was a slower game versus the Cleveland Browns, and that's kind of what I said during my show on Sunday. I was like, yeah, you're going to want to start him, but I don't think he's going to do that great. This is a game where you're going to want to start him, and he's going to do absolutely great. The Dallas Cowboys versus the tight end, and this defense has just been giving up points galore across the board. Doesn't matter the position. Running back, wide receiver, tight end. They rank 15th versus the tight end. 14 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Tucker Kraft is going to feast in this game, especially with Jaden Reed out. Matthew Golden I like for his flash play here as well, too. Now, Jake Ferguson, the guy I've been talking about all offseason as a tight end you should be targeting. Dak's boy. Now CeeDee Lamb goes down. But don't look at his targets this week as that's because CeeDee Lamb went down. So he had 14 targets. He's absolutely balling out at tight end, right? We know that. But you got to look at the week before when CeeDee Lamb was out there. He still had 12 targets. That's phenomenal volume. Dak loves his tight end. Jake Ferguson's going to be a start probably for the rest of the season for me, especially with the Cowboys run game going to come to an end here. The Javonte Williams hype is done. Sell the guy now. The schedule gets brutal. I can't believe the start he even had that I had to suffer through to start with. Now, when you're going up against the Green Bay Packers, and last week you got to see the Browns. They actually got a couple points on the Packers. Not a couple points, but a couple plays across the middle. That's their weak spot as the tight end. This is the only weak spot in the defense that they have. So they give up 16.1 points to the tight end position, 21 receptions, 215 yards, that's 70 yards a game, and a touchdown. Jake Ferguson is going to absolutely eat in this game. The pressure that Micah Parsons is going to bring, trying to literally obliterate the entire Cowboys franchise by himself, is going to be quick passes across the middle. Rashawn Gary also leads the NFL in sacks because of Micah Parsons. Jake Ferguson, the big game is here. A sea of red game, Monday Night Football. The New York Jets headed in to face the Miami Dolphins, 45.5 over under here. And Mason Taylor, the rookie, I was excited about coming in. And you saw a little uptick in usage with Tyrod Taylor, who stays in the pocket more. We're going to be back to Justin Fields this week. Does he have like a 10%, 15% touchdown upside? For sure. The matchup is absolutely great. I just don't trust it with Justin Fields. The Dolphins rank third worst versus the tight end, giving up 17.2 points per game, 18 receptions, 215 yards, about 73 yards a game, and 2 touchdowns. So, he's sitting at about a 60% chance to score statistically, but I just don't trust it with Justin Fields at quarterback with him being out there. You saw through the first 2 games how bad it was. He was not even involved. So when Tyrod Taylor came in, then he got a couple targets here and there, but nothing special. On the Dolphins side, the rapper Waller Baller is in the building. He's going to be playing limited snaps. I'm not starting him on his first game back. He does have big body upside red zone. You know that. He's athletic as hell. He's been a good tight end before when he's played. He's had 1,000-yard seasons. He's also 33 years old. They say he's in military shape, but that's not game shape. So you're going up against the Jets. They rank 13th versus the tight end, giving up 10.47 points per game, 15 receptions, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, so about 34 yards a game to the tight end position. Either way, not great for Darren Waller in his first game, but for some reason I can see him just getting in the end zone and doing a crazy Darren Waller rap dance or something in this game, but not something I would recommend. Last but not least, another game that's like oofta, and I'm getting tired because here we go, and I just don't have it all set up right. Evan Ingram and the Denver Broncos hosting Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals, and we saw how bad Browning looked. Now, the over-under 44.5. Denver's favored by 7.5 in this game. I am not trusting Mike Gesicki and Noah Fant in a split. It's like Elijah Arroyo and A.J. Barner. You never start these guys, period, unless you're DFS cheap playing for a touchdown. That's about the only way I'm playing these guys, period. Now, the Denver Broncos, I will give their stats versus the tight end just to do it, but I know there's no way you're starting these guys either way. They rank 12th, giving up 10.2, 14 receptions, 160 yards. I'm not starting these guys regardless. Evan Ingram, my dark horse tight end one of the year, just calf injury to start week 1, then a back injury. It's not the way I wanted it to go, playing in the Sean Payton Joker role. I thought he was going to be I guess it's injury, so you can't really say anything, but it's a miss for now. But the matchup versus the Bengals, get him out there healthy, see him practice. This would be gold. Cincinnati Bengals give up 16.3. That ranks 29th. That's 4th worst in the NFL. 19 receptions, 178 yards, about 60 yards a game, 2 touchdowns. So 60% chance for a touchdown as well for Ingram. If he's out there healthy, he practiced a little bit last week and didn't play. I'd rather them just hold him and get him 100% healthy than even try and run him out there at 30%. But, if they say he's 100% by like Wednesday, Thursday, or, Friday, I'm throwing him in a start, because the matchup is just so damn good. So we're going to move him up here, right here, mid-video, even though I messed up the graphics coming in. Sorry about that. I've been through 4 videos. I'm freaking exhausted. That's the end, guys. If Evan Ingram is out there, start him. I'm not starting Mike Gesicki or Noah Fant, period. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. Man, I'm sorry if I messed up some of the words in there. I am tired. Been a long day. Got all of it out to you guys. Got a late start. Sorry, guys. Next week, I'll be back on the earlier prompt too. It's just we have a lot going on this week. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Make sure you check out the Guys FF Discord that is pinned in the comments and in the description of the video as well. And if you want our pick'ems, man, if you want my pick'ems that have been absolutely heat for 4 weeks in a row here, make sure you check out drafters.com, promo code SLEEZ. It will match your deposit up to $100. And that's it for the day. I got my quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, start 'em, sit 'em. All those videos are out. Tomorrow, I'm going to crank through all my rankings. And then Thursday, we're going to get a new look before the live show Thursday night. I'm going to do buy low, sell highs at every 4-week mark. So we're going into week 4. I'll do one for week 4. We go into week 8. I'll do it, so on and so forth, till we get to week 16, which is playoff time at the end, where, buy lows don't really exist anymore. So that's it for me in this episode, guys. Thanks for listening. Sleaze Bomb out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man.